For over 125 years, Union Station has been a connecting hub for Denver, for Colorado, and the entire western United States. This station has seen the changes that have gone on with transportation, from horse-drawn carriages to the trains, to buses, and now to light rail. Yes, the way people connect continues to change, and it will do so for the years to come. In this session, my friend Steve Chavis will be introducing some concepts of staying connected and tools that you can use to expand your network. But it's not just that you are connected, it's how you connect. And we're going to introduce a concept called networking God's way. We've looked through scriptures and we want to share with you some proven principles of connecting in a way that you can be proud of. So let's remember to stay connected. Let's remember that we can actually continue to grow and learn new ways of connecting in today's environment. Let's go.
Good morning. I'm Steve Chavis, and we're all practicing our elevator speeches, so here's mine. I'm a professional storyteller. I've been telling stories on the radio since 1980, and for Promise Keepers for about a dozen years, and now I run my own communications firm, helping people with, as Bobby said, crisis communications and social media. My job is to make the interesting things important. That's what your news anchors want to do every night when you turn on the tube. They want to make the important things interesting. For me today, there's nothing more important than your story. And we want to, in this session on Networking God's Way, help you tell your story. So that's my commitment. That's what we're going to try and cover in about the next hour. Fill in the blank for me. It's not in your books, but I think we've heard the phrase enough to know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We're built for relationship, and this kind of mutually beneficial relationship is something we've all come to understand is networking. I've got something you need, you've got something I need. Let's get together, let's share. Or if you're like my friend Jimmy, he says, my name is Jimmy, gimme, gimme, gimme. That's his approach. In your workbook, there's a couple of blanks there. We might ask ourselves, if we're coming from the perspective of inspired calling, what's the golden rule say about networking? This verse here in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, the Message translation, is actually another approach on the golden rule. It says, ask yourself what you want people to do for you, then grab the initiative and do it for them. An older lady, kind of a grandmotherly person, lots of wisdom. She said, son, the golden rule only works if you think it's your turn. I said, you're right. It says later on in Acts, you're far happier giving than getting. Another way to put it is you're more blessed to give than to receive. We've heard this in our maybe our Christian upbringing or Christian experience. It's become a cliche. Are we really there yet? You see, when Inspired Calling brought this information to me, it really sort of twisted my brain. It gave me a whole new perspective on networking, a far more aggressive approach to getting my stuff out there, to putting my stuff out there. Let's look at a definition. We've redefined networking. We're going to give you a definition of networking God's way. It's the process. It is a process, and then we'll unpack it, by which like-minded people come together to care for, to encourage, and to inspire one another to seek out God's next step in life's journey. So let's unpack some of these blanks that we've just filled in. It is a process. Networking is not something you do today because you're in a particular place and then you stop after the fire is put out, if you will. It's a process, an ongoing, lifelong process if you're going to network God's way, by which like-minded people, not just people that believe the same way you do, or people that look the same way you do, or people that live on the same side of town as you do, or drive the same car, people with common interests, people with common ground. So networking God's way suggests an ongoing quest for people that you can find common ground with. An ongoing quest for common ground. You're always looking for common ground. It's the basis of any great conversation, looking for common ground. What's the point? It's to care for. It's to encourage. It's to inspire one another, to build one another up. We're taught this, as Paul wrote, all the one another's, to build up one another, to seek out God's next step in life's journey. Yeah, it's a journey. Even your job search, even your vocational calling is part of this incredible story, your story. In fact, you're going to be asked about what you've been doing while you've been in job transition. It's a great part of the story, not something to cover up. We want you to talk about the good things that are happening while you're networking God's way. Look, this networking God's way thing is busted my brain because I was so content with giving and taking, with the sharing, with the mutually beneficial relationships. Networking God's way says it's your turn. And we want to help you. I want to convince you. I want to commit the switch in my brain from giving and taking, from a 50-50 relationship to it's up to me. I've got to find a way to get my stuff out there. You've got good stuff. I'll say it several times. You're unique. You're absolutely one of a kind. You've got experiences, skills, capabilities that nobody else has. Nobody else looks like you, rolls the way you roll, says the things that you, sees the world through your eyes. Your particular gifts and skills are absolutely needed in this world today. And we've got to find ways for you to get your stuff out there. The blank in your workbook says, we've got to stop asking people, how can you help me?